Video lecture will be on nomenclature and basics of nomenclature. It is one of the important topics from the module diversity of life forms. I'll be dealing with principles of botanical and zoological nomenclature, typification in plants and animals, species concept and types of species. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so taxonomy. Taxonomy deals with grouping and classifying organisms, while nomenclature deals with providing names. Okay, then botanical nomenclature is governed by ICN and the zoological nomenclature is governed by ICZN. So what is ICN? ICN is International Code of Nomenclature for Algae, Fungi and Plant. Initially it was ICBN, that is International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. It was replaced by ICN. Then for the nomenclature of cultivated plant, there is a different code which is ICNCP, International Code of Nomenclature of Cultivated Plants. Then for the zoological nomenclature, it is ICZN, that is International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. For the bacteriological nomenclature, it is ICNB or BC, that is International Code of Nomenclature of Bacteria or Bacteriological Code. Initially, it was ICNP, that is International Code of Nomenclature of Prokaryotes. For the viral classification, there is a different code which is ICVCN, that is International Code of Virus Classification and Nomenclature. You just have to remember this full forms. These are asked in the examinations. Okay. So the first important point is principles of botanical nomenclature. First, we'll be dealing with principles of botanical nomenclature. Then we'll deal with the principles of zoological nomenclature. So there are about 6 principles in the botanical nomenclature. You just have to remember what is included in the each principle. Okay. So botanical nomenclature is independent of zoological, bacteriological and viral nomenclature. There are many differences in these nomenclature. So you have to remember that botanical nomenclature is independent of other nomenclatures like zoological, bacteriological and viral nomenclature. Then application of the names of taxonomic group is determined by nomenclatural types. There are many types. The topic is the typification, which will be dealing in the further slides. For example, the aster is a type specimen of the family Asteraceae. Okay, so third principle is the principle of priority. What is the principle of priority? The nomenclature is based on the priority of publication, that is the oldest correct and formal scientific name, which is according to the rules and the principle, is the only valid name for the species. Then the uniqueness principle. Each taxonomic group of plant has only one correct name that is accepted worldwide with the given circumscription, position and rank. The one name which is accepted worldwide, okay, which is according to the all rules and principles, is the only correct name. Then the names of the taxa are treated as Latin regardless of their derivation. Let the plant be described from the Spain or Italy or from anywhere, but all these names will be treated as Latin. The names will be Latinized, okay. Then the rules of nomenclature are retroactive unless expressly limited. That is, the rules apply to the work done before the acceptance of these rules. Okay, so these are the 6 principles from this botanical nomenclature which you have to remember. Then the principles of zoological nomenclature. The first principle is principle of binomial nomenclature. So you know that the every name it consists of the two part, that is the genus part and the specific epithet part. The genus part, the first letter of the genus should be capital and the first letter of the specific epithet should be small. Okay, and these names should be in italics or should be underlined. Then the principle of priority, which we have seen in the botanical nomenclature. Then the principle of homonymy. The name of each taxon must be unique and not be the replicate or duplicate of any other family, group or species. Any one name or spelling may be used only once within its group. For example, the Argus copoli and Argus lamarck are the homonyms. Okay, so these are the two different genuses which are like the name with the Argus which is used in the two different genuses, that is okay. but that shouldn't be used in the naming of the family or the orders or any other rank. Then the principle of typification. This we are going to deal in detail. Okay, so each taxon in the family, genus, or species group must have its prefix name bearing type. For example, the Speniscus type specimen is the Speniscus is the type specimen of the families Spenicidae. What is name bearing type? The name bearing type is usually a specimen or individual organism in the museum collection. Okay, so the next principle is principle of coordination. When a new zoological name is published, it spontaneously establishes all corresponding names in relevant ranks. Okay, this is nothing but the principle of coordination. So in the species group, publishing the species name also establishes the subspecies name. Similarly, in the genus group, publishing the genus name establishes the subgenus name. In the family group, publication of the family, subfamily or superfamily name establishes the corresponding names in the all other ranks in the family group. So you have to remember this principle of coordination and the principle of homonymy are one of the important principles of the zoological nomenclature which are absent in the botanical nomenclature. Okay, one important thing you have to note is the tautonyms and the trinomial names are accepted in zoological nomenclature but not in the botanical nomenclature. For example, Naja, Naja, Naja. It is the example of tautonym as well as the trinomial name. It is accepted in zoological nomenclature. Okay, similarly, Katla, Katla. Okay, it is the example of tautonym which is accepted in the zoological nomenclature. Okay, so every rank has a specific ending. So you just have to remember there is a different ending in botanical, zoological, and bacteriological nomenclature. So for the division in the botanical, for the division rank, botanical nomenclature, it ends with the phyta in case of plants and mycota in case of fungi. Then subdivision ends with phytina. Then class ends with Opsida, Mycetes or Physi. Then subclass ends with Idia, Mycetidae or Phydi. Then suborder ends with Ani, order Ales, then suborder Ini. Remember this, Ales and Ini are also the endings in the bacteriological nomenclature. Then for the family AC, then subfamily Oidae, tribe E and subtribe Ini. So these endings from the family to subfamily are similar in the botanical and bacteriological nomenclature. Then for the superfamily of zoological nomenclature ends with Oidea, family ends with Idi, subfamily ends with Ini, tribe ends with Ini, and subtribe ends with Ina. Okay, so you just have to remember few things about this. Okay, nothing in. Okay, typification. Typification in plants and animals. This is one of the most important topic on which the question is asked every year. Okay, so holotype. This is one of the important type. It is collected along with the isotypes. The holotype is nothing but illustration or specimen indicated by the author as nomenclatural type of the name. This is a type on which the whole description and everything is based. Okay. Isotype. Illustration or specimen which is a duplicate of the holotype collected from the same plant along with the holotype. Okay. There are many duplicates collected along with the holotype. This is nothing but isotype. Okay, lectotype. What is lectotype? Illustration or specimen indicated or designated by the new author as nomenclatural type. See, the material was collected by and deposited by the same author, okay, original author, but it is indicated by a new author as the nomenclatural type. It is done when the no holotype was specified or the holotype has been lost or destroyed. You just have to remember one thing, lectotype is the same material collected and deposited, okay, along with the holotype. Then syntype. Any one or more illustration or specimen simultaneously designated as type. When there are no holotype and all specimen are of equal importance, all become syntypes. So you just have to remember syntypes is nothing but holotype plus isotype. And there is no specific holotype. Every specimen has equal importance. Okay. Paratype. Illustration or specimen cited in original description that is neither holotype nor syntypes or isotypes. Okay, that is paratype. It is collected by the different collectors at the different localities. Okay, so paratype is nothing but it is a parallel type described by the original author, but specimen from different locality and different time. Okay, neotype. Uh, Many times we get confused between neotype and lectotype. So what is neotype? Illustration or specimen serving as the nomenclatural type when no originally mentioned material is available. Holotype, paratype or syntype or isotype is lost. Okay. The neotype is the different material. Okay. It is collected by the different authors. Okay. But the lectotype is the one collected along with the holotype and which is collected by the original author at the same place. Okay. While in the neotype, when the holotype, lectotype, isotype all are lost, the new specimen from new locality which is brought is nothing but the neotype. Epitype. It serves as the interpretative type when other types show no critical features needed for the identification. When the features are absent from the all other types, there are other types which are brought into picture. That is nothing but epitype. It helps in providing the critical features which are needed for the identification. So those were the typification in plants. Now the typification in animal. So holotype is similar, like illustration or specimen indicated by the author as nomenclatural type of the name. Then paratype, illustration or specimen cited in original description that is neither holotype nor syntype nor isotype. It is collected by different collectors at different locality, and it is the additional representative of the same species, as we have seen in the typification in plants. So what is allotype? This is important. The illustration or specimen of the opposite sex to the holotype among paratypes. Okay, when the word opposite sex comes, you just have to remember allotype. Okay, then neotype, specimen or illustration serving as the nomenclatural type when no originally mentioned material is available or when the holotype has been lost or destroyed. It is brought by the new author, maybe from the same or the different locality. Okay, syntype, any one or more illustration or specimen simultaneously designated as species. Any one of the two or more specimen listed in the species description where no holotype was entitled. You just have to remember syntype is nothing but the one including both holotype and isotype when there is no specific holotype entitled. Lectotype. Lectotype is a specimen later designated to aid as a single type specimen for the species originally described from the set of syntypes. Okay. So lectotype is one which is collected from the syntype. In zoological nomenclature. A lectotype is a kind of name-bearing type, the one which is kept in the museum. Okay, the paralectotype. It is the additional specimen from the syntype after the selection of lectotype. Okay, it is one of the non-name-bearing types. Then happentotype. Two or more directly related individual specimens representing distinct stages in the life cycle. Okay, the specimen may be same individuals, okay, but these specimen represents the distinct stages. Always remember, when the distinct stages in the life cycle comes, you have to remember happentotype. Okay, then iconotype, illustration or specimen on which a new species or subspecies is based. This you can remember by the icon word. Okay, so it is the specimen on which a new species or subspecies is based. Then ergatotype, specimen chosen as a paratype to exemplify the worker member in Hymenopterans. Okay, the ones having polymorphic caste. Okay, so these you can see in the case of Hymenopterans like ants, bees, and wasps. So ergatotype is one. It is chosen as a paratype to exemplify the worker members in Hymenopterans. Okay, so when the word Hymenopteran comes, you have to remember ergatotype. Okay. Okay, species, concept, and types. A group of living organisms consisting of similar individuals capable of exchanging genes. Okay, the group of individuals or organisms which are capable of exchanging genes belongs to the same species. It is defined as reproductively isolated population that shares a common gene pool and a common niche. Okay, so this includes the definition or this defines the species ecologically, reproductively, and genetically. Okay, so it defines species as reproductively isolated population that shares a common gene pool and having a common niche. Species are group of related organisms sharing a common characteristics and which are capable of interbreeding. Group of related species comprises of genus. Okay, so the first one is biological species concept. Okay, so the biological species concept was given by the Ernst Mayr. The species capable of interbreeding and exchanging genes. Okay, so according to the Ernst Mayr, the definition of species is groups of interbreeding natural populations which are reproductively isolated from other such groups. These may or may not look alike but are capable of interbreeding. Okay, the only important point matters is that the group of individuals, this should be capable of exchanging genes. Okay, these may or may not look alike. Okay, this is the concept of the biological species. The ecological species, species or group of species adapted to a particular ecological niche different from the other groups. Okay, so in the ecological species concept we have to remember the group of individuals adapted to a particular ecological niche. Then the phenetic species concept. The species or group of species which are phenotypically similar or alike and different from the other set of organisms. Okay, so here only the phenotypic characters matters in grouping species and not the other characteristics. Okay, the fourth concept is evolutionary species concept. This species is a unit of evolutionary group or evolution, also defined as lineage of ancestral populations or descendants which maintains their identity from other such groups or lineages. Okay, so in the evolutionary species concept you have to remember that it is a unit of evolutionary group. Okay, then the cladospecies, the set or group of organisms on a segment of a phylogenetic lineage between nodes or the group of organisms between the speciation events or the speciation events and the extinction event. Okay, so in the cladospecies, the important point which you have to remember is the segment of the phylogenetic lineage between the nodes. Okay, then the genetic species, the group of organisms forming a genetic unit, that is the group inheriting characters from each other and having a common gene pool or reproducing communities are genetic species. So in the evolutionary species, you have to remember it is a unit of evolutionary group. In this clado species, you have to remember it is a part of a clade or a segment of the phylogenetic lineage. In the genetic species concept, you have to remember the organisms which are forming a genetic unit is genetic species. Then the seventh one is typological species, the organism which conform to a certain fixed characteristics or properties are known to be the individuals of the same species. Then the morphospecies, it is one of the oldest species concept. The name itself suggests it identifies or distinguishes species based on their morphological character. So I would say it is this concept is similar to the phenetic species concept. Then the nothospecies, the species formed by the hybridization of two distinct parent species is nothospecies. So here I have given one example. So this cross sign represents the hybridization. So wherever you find this cross sign, that species is nothing but the nothospecies. The hybrid genus is known as nothogenus. The hybrid species is known as nothospecies. The hybrid taxa is nothing but the nothotaxa. Then the phylospecies, the smallest unit of phylogenetic analysis, the biological entities which are diagnosable and monophyletic. Okay. Then the ring species concept. Here the gene flow occurs between neighboring population of a species, but not at the ends of the ring. At the ends, the population don't interbreed. So here you can see in this diagram. Okay. So these all individuals are capable of doing, like here the gene flow is occurring. Okay. But here at the ends, there is no gene flow occurring. So this concept is nothing but the ring species. Then the phylogenetic species, also called as Darwinian species, a smallest group or set of organisms sharing an ancestor which can be distinguished from other such group. Okay. So wherever you find the organisms or the set of organisms which are sharing in common ancestor, those groups belongs to the same phylogenetic species group. Okay, so this is the definition of phylogenetic species or the Darwinian species. Then the chronospecies. It represents different stages of a same evolving lineage which existed at different time points. It is derived from sequential development and continual changes from an extinct ancestral form. So chronospecies, it represents nothing but the different stages of the same evolving lineage. Okay, so wherever you find this different staging of the same evolving lineage, this is the chronospecies concept. Then the microspecies, the name itself suggests these are the species which are formed or which reproduce without fertilization or meiosis, which leads to the genetically identical offspring like that of parents. So the microspecies are the species which reproduce without fertilization or meiosis. Then the quasi-species. These results from the high mutation rate and are defined as well-defined distributed mutants generated by mutation selection process. A viral quasi-species is a viral population with large number of variances in their genomes due to mutations. So in the quasi-species, you have to remember these are the species which are formed by the high mutation rate. Okay. So up till now, we have seen the species concept, different types of species, then the principles of the botanical and zoological nomenclature, and the basics of the nomenclature and typification in plants and